Hey, what's up YouTube? This is TMZ1313, and today I want to show you why nitro engines won't start. Nitro engines are very finicky. They have to have the perfect combination of air and fuel to get it going, and I'm going to show you a few steps on how to make that happen and a few troubleshooting things that you could do when you're working with your nitro engine. First thing I want to do is just show you a little diagram. I know it's on paper. I don't have a computer, so don't hate on me. Alright, but this is called the three-legged stool. It's just like an engine. How is that possible? You need all three legs to make this stool stand. Same goes for an engine. You need all three of these things for an engine to run. If you don't have one of these things, your engine is not running and it's going to fall over like this stool. You need fuel, you need air, and ignition. Without one of these, your engine is not working properly. So, this is a good way to start troubleshooting. Normally, the first thing that you want to check is your ignition on the nitro engine. First thing you want to do is check your glow igniter. See if the battery's dead. I got a little C battery that's in my glow igniter, but you might have a rechargeable one, or you might have, I've seen some people hook a 9-volt battery up to one. So, first thing you want to do is check your battery. Make sure your battery's good, put a different glow plug in there, see if it glows up. If it doesn't, replace your battery. If it does, go to your glow plug. Make sure your glow plug ain't bad. Glow plugs could go bad from flooding your engine. So just check it, see if it works. If that works, put it back in. You know it's not your ignition. Simple as that. That's normally the main thing that won't start your car if it ain't starting. Next thing is your induction. You could have an air leak, and might be having too much air. You might not have your filter on right, or your tube isn't on the right. If it isn't, put a zip tie on it, make it a little tighter. Another thing is that you might have your fuel tank have a hole in it or a puncture or something like that. So check that. Make sure that you have no leaks in your fuel tank. And another thing is your fuel cap. There's a little O-ring in here. Let's see if I can see it. That little O-ring could go bad, and you're not getting a proper seal. So whenever you open it, just make sure it's on tight. So that's how you get too much air, or you might have an air leak in your engine, your radiator or heat sink, whatever one you want to call it, or it could be in your carburetor. It happens. So check that. Make sure that you don't have a leak in that. Might not be getting enough air from a blocked filter. Could happen. My filter's dirty as hell, so I'm gonna clean my filter up soon. But you might have a blocked filter from dirt. It happens. So just make sure that your air filter is good and clean. You might have a kink in your pressure line. Make sure that your pressure line is good. Sorry. It might not be tuned right. It might be too rich. It might be too lean. You gotta get in that perfect medium for it to work properly and start without troubles. So make sure that your tune is right. Another thing is your fuel. Fuel is there's a lot of stuff to fuel. I think personally, you only need about 1 cc or less, depending on the engine size, of fuel to start your engine. If you put more than 1 cc, you're flooding your engine, and it's gonna be hard to start. With a pull start, you ain't gonna be able to pull it with a God damn it, I'm drawing a blank. Easy start or a roller start. If it seizes up, you know you're flooded the engine. So take out your glow plug and all that good stuff. But you might have too less of fuel from an air leak, which ain't pressurizing your fuel tank, or there could be a kink in there. Just make sure that you got it right. Make sure that your fuel is going to the carburetor, all the way to the carburetor. Another thing is, if your engine's really hard to start, I notice with older engines, if it's really hard to start, put a few drops in the carburetor. That normally helps a whole lot. So, another thing is, you could have dirty fuel, contaminated fuel. Some ways of doing that is having old fuel that you had from the other day, and let's say you had a full tank of gas 2 days ago and you used half of it, and you got your other half. Dump that fuel out. Don't use it. I know it sucks. You wanna use all the fuel that you have and that, but you don't wanna use stuff that's been sitting in there. It gets contaminated. It gets moisture and all kinds of other debris and dirt and things like that. So make sure that you use all your fuel. Another thing is, don't put your fuel from the tank back into your nitro bottle. Once again, it's bringing moisture into the bottle. It's bringing contamination. It's gonna make that fuel less. It's not gonna make the engine start as easy. So just make sure that you don't put the fuel back in. Same goes for the filler bottle. Don't put that fuel that was in that filler bottle back in the bottle. It's gonna put moisture into the thing. You don't want moisture. Engines don't like moisture. You lose performance, you lose everything basically, and you could start rusting your engine. So make sure that you do not reuse fuel. I know it sucks, $30 a gallon. You want to use every little bit, but sometimes you can't. I've thrown tanks away before and it sucks, but you gotta do it. It sucks, but whatever. I'm getting sick. Anyways, don't leave your fuel in the sunlight. Your bottle that collects moisture. I don't care how tight you got that cap on. There's still moisture in the air in the bottle, and it's gonna condensate, and you're gonna get moisture in your fuel. So keep it in a cool, dry place. If you take it with you, keep it in your trunk where there's no direct sunlight. That'll help it a lot. Let's see. You could have clutch problems. It's happened to me before. My clutch bell bearing froze, and it would always engage it. So right when I started my car would try to move, and it stalled out right afterwards. I had to take the whole clutch apart, and there's 3 little springs in there. They all broke. I replaced those. I replaced my bearings. It ran fine after that. So if you're having if it starts but it wants to go, you got clutch problems because the clutch is engaging all the time. You don't want that. You might also have a simple one is dead batteries. It happens all the time. You might have dead batteries in your remote or in your receiver. Just make sure that you got good batteries, because your batteries control your throttle, and when you turn your car on, it sets that certain throttle to make it a good fuel to air mixture to start your car up. So let's make sure that you got good batteries. Another thing is make sure your engine's hot when you start it. A thing about nitro engines or any kind of engine at that is that they're metal, and when heat heats up, or metal heats up, it expands, and you get the right compression. If you have cold metal inside the engine, your piston is not getting to the piston sleeve and making the right proper amount of compression to heat up your glow plug. A glow plug is basically, or this nitro engine is basically like a diesel engine. It uses no spark plug. It uses a glow plug. It uses compression to heat the little metal coil inside the glow plug. So if you don't have the right amount of compression, it's not going to keep that glow plug hot, and it's not going to stay running, or it won't start at all. So heat up your engine. There's plenty of ways of doing it. You could use a hair dryer. You could use a heat gun. And don't laugh at me. I don't have neither of those. So you know what I use? I use my damn furnace. I know that's kind of funny, but it heats up 125. It heats up enough to get that metal expanding, and it runs always afterwards. So if it's hard to start, heat it up real quick. It might help you out a lot. So otherwise, I mean, that's about it. That's about all I got. I don't know if I forgot anything, but let me know if I did. Comment below, like it, dislike, I don't care. Just tell me what you guys think. Alright, see you guys.